Hello all, Knifetail here, hoping you're having a good day. Doing something a little different here. We're taking a look at 5 all-rounder premium knives. These are knives that are very usable, very useful, and doing everything well enough that I'm going to consider them an all-rounder, but they are in the premium tier. They are expensive. So, do with that what you will, but these are also interesting pieces that I think, despite being all-rounders, are doing their own unique little things. For example, the first one, this is in no particular order by the way, is the Quiet Carry Drift LCT. Large contoured titanium, which as you can imagine has contoured titanium and is larger than the standard drift, which is an amazing way to name a knife, right? Its own bearings. This thing is basically waterproof, being Vanex blade steel, nearly impossible to corrode. The lock bar insert is LC200N, and titanium itself does not corrode. Its own bearings, it's a frame lock. It's got beautiful texturing, beautiful quality, tall, almost full flat grind, drop point blade, just neutral, usable knife that is a great all-round piece. Second one is the Mark Varga VBR. This particular one's the Mark III with the thumb studs. But any of the knives, there's 4 Marks variants. The first 2, I don't believe, are just flipper tabs. The Mark III has thumb stud edition, and the Mark IVs are a large and small variant. Any one you get, you're getting high quality fit and finish, bolster lock, contoured titanium with an inlay. There is micarta and carbon fiber, and I think the earlier ones actually came in full titanium. They might be a frame lock, just a straight plain frame lock. On bearings, Riot fit and finish. Again, very neutral blade shape because it's supposed to be an all-rounder, but this one's got a thin dual ground or compound ground, hollow grind, and flat grind for some strength at the tip and slicing at the back end of the blade. Wonderful studs, even though they are actually smaller than a lot of thumb studs on blades. They're so well positioned, so grippy, wonderful action, good, strong, snappy detent, some functional jimping. Just a great ergonomic, all-round design that you can choke up and do your whole everything that you want. Number 3 here is the Riot made, Sharp by Design, also Riot made, Sharp by Design Evo Typhoon. And, well, Sharp by Design has to be on here somewhere because most of his knives are just super practical. They're both sleek, attractive, nice looking knives, but they're very functional and very usable. And I think pretty much all around they always fit that category. Yeah. Even the chicane, which is like a trailing point Persian style, is surprisingly practical when you actually use it. It surprised me. I do have a review on that, but I also have a review on, well, no, I don't think I have the review for this up yet, but they'll all be reviewed. This particular variant is a frame lock, titanium, aspirated knife, on bearings, in M390. Nice, thin, relatively thin, but not too thin. Still got some strength behind it. Usable clip point blade. Slight trail, I guess, curve to it. There is a drop point and a harpoon variant. And technically, you can get in there to use the aperture as a flick, but it's not the easiest thing to do under the camera, or in general. It's pretty tight. So it's primarily flipper tab. What the heck is that? Ignoring it. I do wish the plunge grind was a little bit better on this thing. It does seem to come out like way out of here. But beyond that, wonderful all-around knife using Brian Nadeau's detent nub system, which is instead of a detent ball, as you can see, that is not a ball, that is kind of a sloping triangle that provides very consistent action and feel across pretty much all of his designs. The Sharp by Design knives, particularly this Evo Typhoon, are wonderful, and they really do fit into that all-rounder category no matter what you do. There is an inlay variant of this thing. I don't know if there's a pure titanium variant of this thing, but these are also pretty popular and not readily available. You're going to have to go on the secondary for them, unfortunately, but between Sharp by Design's website and some other vendors, I'm sure you can probably find at least one of or two of his designs around. They may not be the ones you want, but they are there. And these things do pop up on the secondary. But they are popular and great knives. Popular for a reason, right? Great flipper tab, just all around, yeah. That's what it is. That's what the video is, all around. What is this? This is number 4. This is the EMP EDC Relative. I think this was technically their second design. They did variations of the Nimble, and I think the Relative was the first completely different design. Yeah. Again, titanium frame lock. This one is in Magna Cut. So, and Bestech does their Magna Cut at like 63 HRC pretty consistently from what I've heard and what I've seen the tests come back as. So that's pretty great, and this thing should be no exception. You've got a big clip on this thing that is still super ergonomic. Unlike these three, it's not contoured, but it is super ergonomic. It has a chamfering, it's softened. The clip is, despite being as big as it is, really does kind of disappear in the hand. You got choke up position, wonderful. It's on bearings. Opening hole is the primary method for actuating this knife, but you also have a front flipper, which, while the jimping for some reason completely does not want to be on the tip, it is this jimping again, or not again, but I should say, while it's not doing what you think of as maybe the best possible jimping, tight wire jimping that's also grippy but not too sharp, it is very grippy. This is some very grippy and very usable jimping. So I actually don't mind this one, even though technically I would like tighter jimping and jimps right at this apex and where it corners around, but this one works without it, so I'm not going to knock it there. You got a clip point blade, dual ground, compound ground, hollow and flat for some strength at the tip. Just great, classic, universally all-around functioning knife. And finally, a little extra spice, as I just completely locked myself out by pushing into the lock bar. This is the Les George VECP. This is a bit of a fancified version of it, with this beautiful Damascus blade. These are USA Midtechs, so they go fast usually. Can't speak to availability, but this thing is on phosphor bronze washers with amazing action for phosphor bronze washers. Super consistent, super smooth. Frame lock. As I said, Midtech, Les George does do work on each of these knives. There's small batch, very small batch. I cannot say that these will be available, but Les George has this design on loan with Spartan knives, the Aster. That's like a $150 knife, I think. Ish knife. He does work with Fox, which is an Italian maker, with similar designs. And Defiant 7 is a company that he partners with pretty closely and does renditions of his designs. I know there's an automatic version of this, and etc. So you can definitely find this pattern, and that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about universally useful, and that's what this is. This is just an all-around good knife. Got a drop point blade. This one is hollow grind, which is extra nice, but normally they're flat ground. Thumb studs for your actuation method, which actually, despite not having a slope down, and on this particular case having a smaller thumb stud on one side, still works just wonderfully. I have carried this, nicked it a little bit right there on the pivot. Yes, pivot. That's the word I'm looking for. But this is just a well-made, well-designed knife. You got a guard here. You got decent plunge ground. I mean, it could be better. It's basically hitting the edge, but this is the Midtech hand ground kind of thing. And you get access to actually make it bigger if you want to cut in more choil, because that stop pin, while it is behind the edge, is far enough away to... I mean, it hits back here, so it's far enough away to actually do something with. detent ball, frame lock, your standard standoffs with just a very, not attractive, but very functional pocket clip. Great all-rounder. Great knife. With some variance, or at least some access to the pattern being available. And that's everything. Just a quick rundown of some really good all-round sort of designs that I particularly like. And I'm very happy to have in my own possession, and hopefully you enjoyed seeing this video. This is my first, like, I don't want to call it a top 5 because it's not. There's a billion knives that could fall into this premium all-round category. But I will say I do think these are some exceptionally high-ranked ones. And this is the more just a list of 5 knives that are great. Gonna end things here. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much. Like I said, I've never done this kind of video before. And I'm just doing it off the cuff, one take, and send it. So let's see how this goes. See you later, guys. Thanks for watching. Consider liking and subscribing. I'll do more content. I'm going to be trying to do more shorts. I'm going to see what I can do more of. See you later.